The result, this is a field that the leading lights from a couple years ago are either in jail, about to go to jail, or waiting extradition. Think about it. This is that field. Would have filled a room much bigger than this if they were sitting on this stage, or now sitting in jail or awaiting jail.
Part of the reason why...
I say this and you giggle, but this is a serious thing. These are a lot of folks that are not living within our securities laws.
This Ethereum ETF, because we could potentially see it very soon.
We actually went live last year, an Ethereum futures ETF. But yes, we had filings around cash Ethereum exchange-traded products.
Will we see that in the next few weeks?
I don't know the timing, but it's going smoothly. And it's really about the asset managers making the full disclosure so that those registration statements can go effective, and those lawyers know what that is. It's something our Division of Corporation Finance handles hundreds or if not thousands of times over anybody's career. It's smoothly functioning. It's really up to the asset managers to make the proper disclosures.
Back to
the Supreme Court's law of the land regarding this. There's 15 to 20,000 various tokens, and they're offered in investment contracts, schemes that are investment contracts. And you look at it, the American public is not getting the proper disclosure that they are required to get by law, but they need. We're merit neutral, but you all, if you're investing, if you're listening to the public, you're not getting the disclosure that you're supposed to get. And the intermediaries in the middle of the market, those so-called exchanges or broker-dealers and so forth, if they've got hundreds of offerings on that platform, think about it. How many of those offerings don't have some group of entrepreneurs in the middle? It just sort of belies logic.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And we have Gary Gensler in the house, and he did not disappoint. Remember, guys, this is all a movie. He's definitely playing his part. Remember, he's a chess piece along with Janet Yellen to get us moved over to the fourth industrial revolution. But his job is to keep the United States behind while the emerging markets rise and this new digital economy. And then he talks about the Ethereum ETF. Things are going smoothly, but he doesn't know the timing. Remember, guys, these dates are selected. But if we do get an Ethereum ETF approved, it's normally within the first 2 weeks of the month. But we don't have that same liquidity that we had with Bitcoin, and then on top of it, with the Ethereum spot ETF, they took off staking. Now we have Gary Gensler asked about the election. Mark Cuban says Gary Gensler can cost Biden the election. But guys, we know when it comes to these elections, remember, you're selected. You're not elected. The president is nothing but a puppet. Of course, we go along with the movie. But the narrative is that Trump is for Bitcoin and crypto, which we know at the beginning he was against. But he's for Bitcoin and crypto now, and then Biden is against it. But on Thursday, we get the showdown, and we're going to see if they bring up these digital assets to put crypto on the main stage. And then, guys, again, we have cyber attacks and the mainstream media, and we know this is nothing but conditioning. Getting the people ready for the big one. And they always write books to push their agenda. But don't forget, guys, we have water futures. Yes, you heard that correct. I've done several videos on it. We have water futures. Don't forget. Someone's betting whether you're going to have water or not, guys. And we know with all the technology that they have, we should never be without water. And you know how I feel about hacks. And don't forget they have supercomputers behind the curtain. That means they can crack any code that they want. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
As you know, crypto, though, is becoming almost an election issue. There's reports that former President Trump is going to speak at this big Bitcoin conference. He said that he will end, quote, Joe Biden's war on crypto. And there's one more. It's become such a big deal that Mark Cuban has actually said that you, Mr. Gensler, could, quote, literally cost Joe Biden the election. What's your response to this?
I'm going to be easy with you, Anne Marie. I don't speak about elections.
You don't have a response to Mr. Cuban?
I don't. I just really, look, my role as a securities regulator, as chair of this great 5,000-person agency that oversees $120 trillion capital markets, we are here to look out for investors, look out for issuers, and where appropriate, to be a cop on the beat. And we have a set of rules that are pretty clear. There's nothing inconsistent about crypto securities and the securities laws. Unfortunately, there's a number of people that are non-compliant with the laws.
Let me ask it a different way. Are you surprised by the political movement we've seen around crypto?
Again, I mean, I'm a securities regulator. I'm focused every day on that part of my job, which is protecting the investors, looking out for issuers, access to markets, fair, orderly, and efficient markets. And with all respect, I hope your listeners understand that's my role. Other people can speak about elections.
So the election is coming up, though, and although your term...
Anne Marie,
although your term
take three.
Although your term goes beyond November 5th, is there something you want to get done? Do you feel like you're up against the clock to get something done before the presidential election?
Look, it's such a privilege to be in this role. I really mean it. I can't believe I'm serving my third president and been through Senate confirmation 6 times and all this. I just can't believe that. And every day, I think, is a privilege to help the American public. Our clients, 330 million Americans. It's about chasing down insider trading. It's about making sure that there's the proper disclosures. It's about implementing. We still have some significant things. We just implemented this big transition to having the clearance, the settlement cycle to 1 day. But we're also working on the implementation of our Treasury clearing rules. And our $27 trillion Treasury market is way too jittery. It has fragility and jitters in it every couple of years. And settling that down and sort of implementing that set of rules. But yes, there are still some rules that we proposed and we have not yet adopted that we're working on, but we're not doing it against a clock. We are basically trying to promote these markets, enhance these markets on behalf of the American public. And if I've honored to serve through my term, which is through 26, great. If it's earlier, that's democracy. Democracy in action.
CDK Global, you probably know by now, it's a company that provides software for thousands of auto dealerships across the U.S. and Canada, and it expects its systems to go back online in the coming days. This is after the cyber attacks disrupted their operations. For a look at how businesses should respond to these types of attacks, let's turn to Teresa Payton, former White House Chief Information Officer, who is now CEO of cybersecurity and intelligence firm Fortalice Solutions. Fortalice is a small fort, I've learned, Teresa, in researching this. Small little structure. Did you know that?
I did.
Oh, she already knew. Her latest book is titled Manipulated Inside the Cyber War to Hijack Elections and Distort the Truth. Welcome. It's good to see you. You point out this might be the worst summer ever for these things. I don't know if we're getting better at dealing with it, but they're getting better at orchestrating these things, the bad guys.
You're right about that. I mean, this is definitely, if not the biggest summer, a big summer for ransomware syndicates, and they're changing their tactics. They're going after, they've gone after third-party vendors before, but they're changing their tactics of how they treat the victims, and that's what's a little bit different. And I think this is a hopefully a wake-up call. Hopefully they'll have their systems back up and running here shortly. But all businesses need to be asking themselves, if they have one single point of failure, a vendor who manages a huge part of their operations, and if that vendor is out of commission for more than a day, what does that mean to your own operations? And so hopefully everybody's looking at this and saying, what do our incident response playbooks look like? And if we had a critical vendor out of commission for more than a day, what would that look like for us?
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in an ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.